Namaste everyone, it's the Chess Puzzler. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel. Today we are going to cover puzzle theme number 26. This puzzle theme is about sacrificing your rook on g7. In many situations, you might have been itching to just sacrifice some of your pieces, and today I'm going to show you how to successfully and when to successfully sacrifice your rook to win the game. Right, let's dive right into it. There are a few things that you need to keep in mind while considering the situations where you can or cannot sacrifice your rook. The first thing over here would be to make sure that from the opponent side, it's only the king that is guarding the g7 square. Then we should have some more pieces from our side ready to attack on g7 when the g7 pawn is taken by our rook. For example, the queen can just go to g5, the rook can come to g1, both of which will be attacking the pawn on g7 once king takes it. And finally, it's most ideal when you have the entire G file semi-open. That means it's open from our side. If not, you can still maneuver your rook to a3 and bring it back to g3. It's just going to have you lose tempi, but if it is suitable, then why not? Let's see how this example looks like. It obviously starts with a sacrifice on g7. So rook takes on g7, king takes on g7. We force the king to go to the h8 square. Now, as you can see with this check, all of these three squares are not available for the king, and the only place it can go is king h8, followed by queen f6. Once again, it's a very forcing move. There is no other place for the king to go except for coming on g8, followed by rook g1, and that's a checkmate. Yeah, there is one move of queen g3, but then it's checkmate. I hope you understand how this works. Keeping these three pointers in mind, I am going to present a few puzzles today, and I would be extremely excited to see if you are able to solve them. Okay, with that, I'm sharing the first puzzle for you. It is black to move. In this case, of course, it's not going to be g7. It's not going to be g7, but it's going to be g2 because it's black to move, and black has the semi-open g file. Please pause the video, think for a solution, and come back when you are ready with the entire series of moves that is going to help black checkmate the white king. Right? So let's start with black takes on g2. The reason why we are doing this is because the king will actually have to take on g2. If not, this position going to h1 is going to be quite awkward for white, with the entire g file open, the queen being able to attack, the rook being able to come into the attack. So white thinks of at least getting some compensation in return before it meets its death. Queen jumps to g4 check. King only has one move, h1. Queen takes on f3 check. King comes to g1. Rook g8, that's also a check. Now king has nowhere else to go, but the only defense that white has right now is queen g5, followed by rook takes on g5. Not only did white lose a lot of pieces, but it's an unstoppable checkmate. The next puzzle here for you is once again for black to move. I'll just like to give one hint before you go ahead and try to solve this. There is a knight on f8, which is blocking the rook on b8 to come into the attack. Just try to figure out what is the best scenario that you can bring in this situation for black. All right. So once again, we'll start with rook g2, king takes on g2, queen g4, king h1, queen f3 check. Now king again comes to g1. Had we the option of bringing the rook from b8 also to the g file, it would have been checkmate for sure because there's nothing that white can do to stop it except for bringing queen to g7. Then the rook could just take on g7 and it's checkmate. But we have a knight in between, and if we try to move this knight away, for example, if we did something like knight e6, then not only can white take back with a check, so black will have to move its king rather than moving the attacking pieces. So black will lose the tempo, and white will quickly catch up with a series of checks from a7 and bring the knight into attack and also bring the rook and so on. It's just going to be very difficult for black to come out of the situation. So the best that black can do in this case is just continue checks, with queen g4 and queen f3. This is going to be draw. Right, moving on, we have the puzzle number 3. It's white to move. Please think of the entire series of moves that you can think of and come back when you're ready. All right. Once again, we will start with rook g7, king takes on g7, and queen g4. Now, king only has one place, that's h8. Queen f5. In this case, we do not have the second rook that is going to come into the attack because the king is still in the center. But we do have a bishop that's going to help attack on the h7 square, which is going to be a checkmate. To stop this, black will do a feeble bishop e4, bishop takes on e4, and now black has no good move at all. So it'll just play a random move like a6, which will be followed by queen h7 checkmate. The final puzzle for the day, it is white to move. There are a couple of branches of moves that black can make in this case. Think of all of those variations and come back when you're ready. Right? We will start with rook g7. There is nothing better than exposing the black king, especially when no other pieces are defending the g7 square. King takes. Now, of course, you must have seen the queen cannot go on g4 because the knight will just take. So queen moves to g3 with a check. Now, black has two options. One is going to f8 and the other is going to h8. I hope you have you have been able to think of both of these moves and come up with the best moves for white after those. Say it goes to h8 for now. This will be followed by knight taking on f7, checkmate. Yes, we are winning a queen, but it doesn't matter because it's a checkmate. White, black king just cannot go anywhere. Had the black king gone to f8 instead, then once again it's just one move checkmate. That's bishop h6. I hope you learned about the situations in which you can sacrifice your rook on g7. Please keep these things in mind, and I hope that this helps you improve your chess. And if you agree on that, then I request you to like this video, share some comments about what can I do better for you, and also please subscribe to keep me inspired and motivated to create newer videos to help you improve your chess. Thank you so much. It's the Chess Puzzler signing out.